G'day folks. I just figured I'd give you a quick look at this Servex Mark II air compressor before I sit it away and allocate it to the Kelly and Lewis engine project. Same one this gauge came off, you'll see that separate video on that one. Just thought I'd pull the valves out because the intake was sticking, have a look inside the cylinder, and the thing is really nice. Like, it's mint inside considering these don't run air cleaners. I mean, that's your intake valve. There's no air cleaner, there's no nothing. Little oil hole on top, and inside here is like a car or 4-stroke engine valve. Just a spring-loaded intake valve. So it's an atmospheric intake valve. It's like what they use on the old flywheel engines, and that screws down into there. Exhaust is simply a ball and a seat with a spring. Nothing really much to service there. The ball isn't rusted or pitted, and the seat looks really good. So yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, Servex Mark II, catalogue OA. And serial number, if the serial number does contain a date, it's probably 1944, maybe 29th, 1944, batch 1 or something like that. I really don't know how they serialise these. Obviously the pulley doesn't have V-belts, it's designed to run flat belts, probably high and low speed, or maybe drive there, and that's just flywheel for inertia. I don't know how it's really attached. There's no grub screws. That's not a taper lock bush either. Taper locks weren't even around back then, I don't think. But yeah, it's on there probably permanently. I'm not going to pull this apart since it's in such good condition. It's still up to the high level with oil. It's in brilliant condition considering the compressor unit itself wasn't worth salvaging. The tanks never had drains attached to them, and since it had been sitting under somebody's bench for the last 30 years to the point where the rubber hoses perished and melted, I wouldn't trust them. So I'm going to build something on my own using the compressor, the gauge, and I'll just go over and see if I can pick any other bits off it. It's got a really old capacitor start Crompton Parkinson motor on it, but I've got a ton of single phase motors at the moment. I don't really need any more. Otherwise I'd probably have about 50 of them by now. The old vintage single phase motors. I still collect the Centuries though. I'll never let a Century electric motor go to scrap. I don't care about the other capacitor start centrifugal switch types, but the old Century repulsion inductions, or any repulsion induction, I will keep. So yeah, let's finish screwing these valves in after reco, and I'll just see what it sounds like. Yeah, I had a feeling this thing was going to snort like a hit and miss engine. Obviously the valves do that, or the intakes. High frequencies coming out of here, but that snorting sound is the inlet valve bit getting pulled open by negative pressure inside the chamber. I'm going to have to hook up a variable speed motor now. This thing sounds awesome. It's probably going to be louder than the engine driving it. Gotta love old stuff like this. No air cleaner, no muffler, no nothing. It's just basic, and it's still in really good condition. A flashlight check proved that most of the bore was looking good, at least what I could see. And holding my finger over the intake would pull a pretty significant vacuum. So she's still good. The guy who dropped it off said just give it a clean up and put new lines on it and use it as it was, but yeah, somehow we don't really trust old air tanks like that. The rest of it's probably fine, but the tanks, nah. There's usually a good reason why air compressors come to the scrapyard. Usually because they've been condemned. OH&S doesn't like open belt drives, or they're just downright dangerous. Really dangerous. So I'm going to make something a bit newer, but still look old-fashioned. Thanks for watching.